Hey, how y'all doing? It's Greg with another video. I wanna talk about this Steve Smith situation. Uh, it's a little late in the game with this topic, but it's just something that I really feel personal about. Uh, so I want to kind of just speak on my perspective on it, and hopefully, uh, it's a unique perspective for a lot of you. I just really not happy with some of the rhetoric that's going on with this whole story. So I just got to say my piece and I'll just leave it alone after that. Okay, so for those who do not know who I'm talking about or what I'm talking about, Steve Smith is a football player who used to play in the NFL. He's a great wide receiver for Carolina. No one disputes that. He's a borderline Hall of Famer, if not a future Hall of Famer. Uh, Football wise, you got really nothing bad to say about the guy. He was a ferocious pass catcher, blocker, winner, made a Super Bowl, almost got a Super Bowl off Tom Brady. So showed up in the big games. Great player. Uh, Off the field, uh, he had indiscretion, cheating on his wife with another man's wife. Uh, the husband of the wife he cheated with, found out about it, put all his information on social media, put the text message that he texted his wife with on social media. He called them on and recorded it and put his conversation with Steve Smith on social media. Uh, so obviously the husband was upset. Not really sure if the husband of either family is gonna get a divorce. Personally speaking, I'm not personally rooting for anybody's marriage to break up. So hopefully, in time, hopefully wounds heal and things get better. Uh, I wish the best for everybody in that situation. Hopefully, everybody can come together and be peaceful with it. But most likely, things are gonna probably go bad. Um, so the issue that I have with this situation is that Steve Smith was obviously the homewrecker for this particular marriage, right? And obviously, uh, the wife of the guy that was posting all the stuff on social media was the homewrecker for Steve Smith's family. So, but I want to focus on Steve Smith because everybody's making a lot of people are making comments like the man who was cheated on should have never confronted Steve Smith. They're saying that he should have only talked to his wife, and that really should have been the end of it. They're basically a lot of these social media people like Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco are like, you don't confront the man. You always just check your wife, and that's how it's supposed to be. And I have a kind of a problem with this theory of how things are. One, because it's not realistic, and two, it basically encourages. Well, if you really think about that logic, it basically what you're saying is that a man can talk to somebody's wife, and it's really on the wife to say no. You're not responsible for knowing that that woman was married and still pursuing a relationship, knowing that that marriage can break up based on your actions. And I just think that's so dumb. And I'm not even married, but it's just the fact that a lot of people seem to really have this mentality. I think doesn't bode well for uh, just marriages in the country because it's just like I feel like you got to be playing super defense now because this is what people think. Like people think it's just open season to talk to people's wives, and I just think it's crazy. So I want to put some biblical perspective on this because the people who have this mentality are just flat out wrong. And For them to kind of think that a man is going to be just like logically thinking that, hey, oh, well, yeah, it's my wife. I only got to check her. She's the only one that gets my smoke. So, no. And I'm going to show you through scriptures uh, what God says about a situation like this. Um, Proverbs 6. If you go to verse, if you go to verse 20, I just want to read it for everybody. My son, keep thy father's commandment and forsake not thy law, not the law of thy mother. Bind them continually upon thy heart and tie them about thy neck. When thou goest, it shall lead thee. When thou sleepest, it shall keep thee. And when thou awake, it shall talk with thee. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is the light, and reproofs of instructions are the way of life, to keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. Lust not after her beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with their eyelids. For by the means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. Can a man take fire in his bosom, and his clothes not be burned? Can one go upon hot coals and his feet not be burned? So he that goeth into the neighbor's wife, whoever touches her shall not be innocent. Men do not dis- Men do not despise a thief if he steal to satisfy his soul. I'm sorry, men do not despise a thief if he steal to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. But if he is found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house. But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding, and he doeth destroyeth his own soul. A wound and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. For jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. He will not regard any ransom, neither will he his rest content. Neither will his rest content, though thou giveth many gifts. Okay, so I hope y'all caught, and I'll repeat some of it, but I hope y'all understand what I'm trying to say now. Like, for people who are trying to say that, look, oh, y'all gotta, if you get cheated on, you only should be checking your wife. You shouldn't be going after the other person. Okay, well, the Bible is saying that you are not going to be able to reason with a man after he just had his wife slept with another man. He is going to be enraged to the point where he's not going to be thinking straight, and he's not going to forgive you, and he is not going to, like, bargain with you or whatever. He's just going to see red. He's just going to go scorch earth. He's just going to just be a pissed off human being uh, because of what was done. Okay. Now, that's not to say that this is going to happen all the time, but this is basically what you should expect to be dealing with if you get caught cheating with another man's wife. Okay? This is what the Bible says that you should expect to happen. This is going to be the standard. Okay? Now, I've talked to a few people about this, and they brought up some points. Obviously, I'm not advocating vengeance. I'm not saying that someone should go this route. I'm saying that they probably will go this route because it's just super personal to have your wife violated by another man to a husband. A man is responsible for the family. He has been, uh, he has committed everything to this woman. So for anybody to try to violate her and make it so that she is just some whore or whatever, he's going to take that personal. Now, a Christian. So yeah, I'm just saying that every you cannot expect a husband to just be reasonable. If he is reasonable, you should count your blessings and just be thankful that it ended up that way. But he is not going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to just deal with my wife or whatever. He's going to Look at the person that got involved with the person's wife, and he is going to be very, very upset and vengeful most of the time. So, the best thing to do, and what the advice people should be giving, is just stay away from married women. I mean, it's risky to do the player life anyway. You should always try to kind of do long term relationships and try to get married. But if you're going to do the player life or whatever, don't do it with married women, man. Because once you step into that realm and you get caught, if you get caught, he is going to seek you out and probably do something bad to you. In this case, it was try to embarrass Steve Smith, put his information all over social media. So maybe now his wife doesn't want to be with him no more, or maybe his kids see him differently, or whatever. That's his way of doing it. But it could be a whole different thing. It could be a physical assault. It could be death. It could be a lot of different things that can happen. So the best thing to do, just leave married women alone. Don't mess with married women, or that husband is going to have an issue with you. And he's not going to say, and he's not going to just check his wife, and he's not going to just do all that type of stuff. So all this little criticism that you're having for this guy, saying that that's what he should do, that's not what married men are going to do according to scripture. So if it does happen that way, you got lucky. God is giving you a warning to everybody: do not mess with married women. If a woman is married, leave them alone. And that's the message that should be going across, but is not going across. Just leave them alone. They try to tempt you. They're sexy. They look good. Whatever. Leave them alone. And that's it. That's all I pretty much wanted to say. All these people that are trying to tell people that, making it seem like it's okay to petition another man's wife, they're leading you to a path of destruction. They're leading you to a path that you don't want to be on. Just there's a lot of single women out here, a lot of good looking single women out here. If you're living in America, they come in all races and colors and whatever. So there's just really no excuse for it. And this is just my heartfelt warning to men out there, whether you're a Christian or not: leave married women alone. Otherwise, there's going to be consequences. And honestly, regardless of how severe they may be, you probably deserved it. And that's just the honest truth. Leave them alone. Do not mess with them. And that's all I pretty much wanted to say. All right. Thank you for listening. Appreciate y'all.